had anxiety every single day. Like, I was on high alert every time I clocked in at Amazon. What's up, guys? Hello! Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Chelsea. For those just now seeing my face, girl, I have been itching to make this video for at least almost a year at this point, because girl, I have been going through it with the Amazon, and since I no longer work there, I can give everybody all the tea and the warnings and everything else is gonna be in this video. So I'm gonna try to keep this as short, cute, and to the point as I can, and be as informative as I can, because the whole point of me making this video is honestly to share with you guys how you can survive working at Amazon, because there's a lot of videos on YouTube about people talking about their experience and what they've learned and how they got fired. Mine is included, how I got fired. But not many people say how, if you want to stay there, how you can survive, you know what I mean? Or just, you know, let you know in advance before you even apply how you gonna be surviving at this job, girl, because please know that they're gonna be trying to get rid of you at every corner. So like I said, I'm gonna go ahead and stop talking, get into this video. I have bullet points and we're gonna go ahead and get started. So
bullet point number one,
the hiring process. Let's just talk about that, because that's gonna be the ground zero center point of everything, right? The way that Amazon hires people is going to explain how they do everything. They are such a tech savvy, intellectual type of company that they want to use technology for everything, and they think they have figured out a way to hire the best people without even interviewing them or even meeting them or anything like that. So the way that you get hired at Amazon is super easy and simple. You just go online and you basically do this whole little I guess like questionnaire and all of that, and most of the time you'll get picked, and then once you get picked, then you will select your shift, and you need to watch out for that, because what people don't talk about on YouTube is that there are two different types of Amazon facilities. There is the regular Amazon facility that you see online and that you see in their commercials and that you see on when people do undercover videos on YouTube. There's that, which I call the small pack of Amazon, and then there is Amazon Excel. Amazon Excel is pretty much all of the basically that Amazon deals with any packages that are 50 pounds and above, and it's pretty much all the heavy shit that Amazon sells on their website. So be careful of that. If you ain't that strong, please do not select Amazon Excel. And it ain't gonna say Amazon Excel. It's gonna just say, hey, this facility, can you lift 50 pounds and above, okay? If you can't do that, don't even select that. Just stay with the little small one. So pick your shift from there. Typically it's day shifts or it's night shift. Day shift is typically from like 7:30 a.m. in the morning to like 6 p.m. It's a 10-hour shift. You're supposed to get 2 15s and a 30, but I'll get into that later. But that's how that's supposed to work. And then night shift is typically from like 6 to I think 4 a.m. and then they do have some part-time shifts depending on which facility that you pick. But the ones in my area in Atlanta don't necessarily have part-time shifts that I've seen. Once you have decided that you are going to work at the Amazon, you have selected your shift, you've done all of that good stuff, they're gonna tell you when your first day of training is. And once you go on that training day, that's when shit's gonna get real. So I'm letting you know right now, if you are a type of person that you need someone to kind of walk you through how to do something, properly train you, actually show you how to do stuff, give you a few days to kind of figure it out, yeah, no, this ain't the job for you, girl. You might as well just don't even show up on day one, because the way that Amazon trains you is that you go and you get a crash course of what you're supposed to be doing, whether you are sorting, picking, packing, whatever, and then the next day they're gonna expect you to know how to do your job and do it well. And that's crazy, but that's honestly what they expect out of you, because my first day, you know, was actually spent half and half. Like, we learned half of sorting and half of picking, and we got crash courses in both. And then literally the next day, me and the rest of the people in my new people group, we're standing around looking for our trainer, like, hey, what are you supposed to be doing? And all of a sudden, some lady comes up to us and was like,
what are y'all doing? Y'all need to get to work. Why are you not working? Y'all can't work together.
We're looking at her like, okay, first of all, who are you? Second of all, we just started yesterday, girl. Like, why are you tripping? Like, we was so confused as to why, like, we were supposed to be like doing what we were supposed to be doing, period. We later found out that was a manager, that she just didn't even attempt to introduce herself at all. But that's a whole different topic, girl. But yeah, it was like they really was expecting us to do our job. So we're just kind of fumbling around, trying to figure out what's what. My best advice is to ask everybody what you were supposed to be doing, but also be cautious because everybody else was trained in that exact same fashion. So that means that there are a lot of people running around that don't know what the hell they're doing, okay? So ask to try to figure out what you need to do, but at the same time be cautious because they don't know either. I mean, there was literally people that was walking around that we would ask them, hey, how do you do this? How do you do that? And we're thinking, oh, they had to have been in Amazon for like at least a year or whatever. No, they would be there. They would have said, oh, I've been here a month or a few weeks or 3 months. Like, you'd be like, girl, what? Like, Amazon time is different, y'all. Like, literally, if you've been there like a month, you're like supposed to be a pro. Like, it's like, just like the best way I can sum it up is just, it's a bunch of babies raising babies. That's the best way I can describe it, because it's like it's so many of us that have just been thrown in there that nobody knows what to do. So it's like a bunch of, you'll find out it's just a lot of nonsense with that, because it's like nobody knows what the hell to do. So just like I said, find you somebody that somewhat knows what they're doing, kind of go from there, and good luck with that, girl, because they ain't gonna train you. So the next thing I want to talk about is that I mentioned earlier that you're supposed to get 2 15s and a 30 on this 10-hour shift, right? Now, the only thing about this 15 and a 30 is that it's really not 2 15s and a 30. It's actually like 2 8 minutes and a 30, right? Because Amazon facilities are huge, right? And they, for some reason, place the break rooms at the ends of the earth compared to where you're working at. I don't know why, but they do that. So when you go on your 15s, what I was constantly told was that the moment that the 15-minute break starts, your walks is included in that 15 minutes, right? So like I said, Amazon facilities are huge, and I walk really fast, and it would take me at least 5 minutes-ish to get from where I was working to one of the break rooms, because it was 2. It would take you at least 5 minutes, and that's if you walk fast. Now, there was people there that were older. There were people that just don't walk that fast, and girl, it could easily take you 7, 8 to 10 minutes to walk to that break room. And if you do the math on that, if you got 15 minutes, it take you 10 minutes to walk to the break room. All you got is 5 minutes, girl. So you really ain't got no 15. So I'm just letting you know that in advance. My advice is to book it. Pick whichever break room is closer to you and fucking book it. Don't wait on them to tell you, oh, it's time to go to break. If they say that the first break is at 10 o'clock, you look at your watch, set a reminder, and you need to start walking at 9:55. I used to do it all the time, and they used to get mad about it, but I didn't give a damn, because I'm like, I'm gonna take my full 15. So do what you gotta do, but that's my advice with that. Please, for the love of God, do not think that if you leave that floor later that you can come back later, because you will get written up so quick, fast, in a hurry. It is ridiculous. And you will learn Amazon be trying to get rid of you as quickly as they hired you. They trying to get rid of you. I'm gonna continue to say that throughout this video. They, as quickly as they hired you, they are trying to fire you. Remember that. Those two go hand in hand. I've had people, when they first got hired, mess up like that, because they thought, oh, like if break was at 10 and I didn't leave the floor till like 10:05 or 10:10, then I can come back at, 10 minutes after the fact. And that's not the case. Like, I've seen people get written up for it real quick. So just don't do it. Like I said, my advice, leave the floor a little bit earlier if you know that you walk slow. Not too early, girl. Like maybe, like I said, 5 minutes max. You can probably, you know, go to the bathroom and then sneak to start walking to the floor. That's my advice with that, because I used to do all the time. Be like, whoop, I gotta go to the bathroom, and then that way I can just kind of go. Or like I said, the moment that 10 o'clock, just fucking book it. If you gotta jog a little bit, girl, just do it, okay? Because they don't care. Like, they only giving you that 215s because the state requires them to, okay? Amazon, remember, like I said earlier, is a tech-savvy type of company. They're very technologically advanced. So in their mind, they think that they're doing the right thing by using technology instead of doing things in person like they need to, especially with how big of company that it is. So one of the ways that they avoid dealing with you is that they give you UPT and PTO in advance when you first get hired. So what UPT is unpaid time off, and PTO, if you don't know, is paid time off, right? So UPT, they typically give you 20 to 30 UPT depending on where you're, what part of the country that you're in, and then PTO, they only give you 10, right? So you're supposed to get more of UPT per quarter, and then PTO, you're supposed to, and I'll get into that, you're supposed to accumulate 1 hour of PTO per check. You're supposed to get like 1 hour UPT, 1 hour PTO. And then sometimes it would vary with the UPT, because sometimes I would get like an hour and 30 minutes. It just really just kind of varied with that. And then for those of us who are full-time or blue badges, as Amazon calls them, you get vacation time as well with each check. Now, let me chunk off PTO. With PTO, remember when I said you're supposed to get an hour every single check? Well, that's true, but if you stay long enough, girl, what'll happen is that once it gets around May or June-ish, yeah, that stops. And nobody told me that. Luckily for me, I kept all of my PTO and UPT, like I saved it up. But I knew a lot of people who was using that stuff like that, and yeah, it cuts off. So please, for the love of God, do not use your PTO unless you absolutely need it. Please stack it up, because to put it in perspective, you get 10 hours at the beginning of January, and you get, like I said, 1 hour per check. So in Amazon's mind, you get 48 hours worth of PTO, and then that's it, right? So you're not getting nothing else for the rest of the year, if you just want to put that into perspective. Now, for most jobs, you know, 48 hours, 2 days PTO, that's not bad, right? But the way that Amazon sets it up is like I said, you're working 10-hour shifts, right? You're working 10-hour shifts. You're there all day long doing a lot of physical labor. I mean, a lot. Like, I lost 20 pounds in the 6 months that I was there, and that was within the 2 months I lost the 20 pounds. So you're doing a lot of physical labor, and then later on you realize that management is going to do a lot of bullshit. It's going to be a lot. You are going to want to go home. So 48 hours is really not a lot. It's really not. And especially if you aren't blue badge and you have vacation time to fall back on, like those of y'all who are white badges, I feel for you, because it's just like if you do have an emergency or you can't be at work or whatever time, I don't know what you're gonna do, because it's just like you can't call out at Amazon. For those of y'all who thinks that this is the type of job that you can call out, that's non-existent, because like I said, Amazon is such a tech-savvy company that they, you know, try to avoid dealing with you. So that's why they give you your PTO and your UPT in advance. So if you gotta go somewhere or you need to be somewhere, they give you that freedom to do that, and you go on the A to Z app and you put it in, and then you can just go. You don't have to tell a manager. You can just go. And then with UPT, like, that's the one that I've seen a lot of people get in trouble with, because the catch with UPT is that they give you like 10 to 20, I told you, like 20 to 30, depending on where you're at. But what they don't tell you about UPT is that if you get into the negative at any point of UPT, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 2 seconds, don't matter, girl, you are automatically fired. Instantly. Like, they're gonna send you an email, you're fired, and there's nothing you can do about it. You can go attempt an appeal, because they always send you a link after they send you that termination email that you can appeal. But I have rarely heard people that actually do that appeal and get their job back. But that's what they don't tell you is that you're automatically fired. Like, remember when I kept saying Amazon, as quickly as you got hired, they will try to fire you for anything. And so many people have gotten messed up with that UPT because they did not know that. So, and then like you would think in your head, okay, if I got into the negative for a minute, I can go talk to somebody or whatever, because I used to have the problem. Now, I barely use my UPT, but I used to have the problem where the A to Z system used to have glitches to where it would take my UPT randomly, which it does that. Those of us that work at Amazon, you know that A to Z app is glitchy as fuck. So there has been times where, cause see, the way that I would use my stuff is that like I would never take days away from work. Like, I'm not a morning person, so I don't know why the fuck I got that early morning ass shift. But the way that I would do it is that if I overslept a little bit, or especially here in Atlanta, you can run into traffic out of nowhere and you just sitting in traffic. Anytime I was late a little bit, that's how I would use my PTO. So I would use mine in like, cause you can use PTO in like minutes increments. So I would use like 10 minutes here and 20 minutes there, you know, that sort of thing. But for some reason, I noticed that when I would use it in the morning time, by the time it got to lunchtime, it never fails. It would take out 6 hours of UPT for no reason. And I would always have to go to HR to get it fixed. So if you really think about it in that perspective, if there was a glitch like that was going on, like imagine if you only had like 2 hours of UPT left and the system automatically did it, girl, you fired, period. Like you can you can try to go and talk to HR and sometimes they can help, but then what you'll quickly realize is like HR is not really HR. Like HR at Amazon, they're just there as placeholders because they don't know what the fuck they're doing either. Like you can go and ask them about anything like benefits, anything like that, and they are not gonna know. Like you are better off just going and calling the ERC, which is like the hotline, which like the HR hotline is like what I call it. They know a little bit more stuff than what your regional HR people are going to know because they don't know. Like the only thing they were ever good for me was to fix my time whenever the app like went haywire. So definitely use your PTO and UPT very wisely because I'm telling you, you can't call out. So like I said, if you're used to calling out when you're sick or you just don't want to go to work or anything like that, you can't call Amazon to call out because they're going to tell you, do you have UPT? Do you have PTO? And that's it. Like there is no calling out. And that kind of leads me into my next point. Those of you who are mamas, who are caregivers of any point, any parents, anybody that's taking care of a loved one with a disability or an older loved one, if you are a caregiver in any form, shape, or fashion, this is just my opinion, I would be really cautious about trying to work at Amazon because if something happens and you need to go, if you do not have UPT or PTO, Amazon does not care. You will have to stay and that's that, or you just have to sacrifice yourself and just be like, you know what, I don't want my job anymore because you're gonna get fired because they don't care. Like the managers are not gonna be able to like be like, oh, we understand, you're gonna go. No, because they're not even in charge of that. So, cause I've seen people who have had children that they have had to leave maybe like 30 minutes early to go pick up their child from daycare or anything like that, and I've seen them get fired because, you know, like I said, you only get a certain number of PTO and UPT. So if you do have that situation, because I know most daycares they close at 6 o'clock. So if you getting off at 6, there's literally no way unless you're married or you got somebody that can go pick up your child. But if it's just you or whatever, like you don't have no wiggle room with that. So I've seen a lot of single mamas leave because of that situation, and I think it's super sad that Amazon won't work with you with that type of schedule, but they're not going to. So if you are a single mother and you have younger babies, or you're a single father with younger babies, I would really be cautious about working at Amazon. And if anything, work an overnight shift, if that, and maybe have somebody watch your kids at night, because it's like they don't care. If you have to leave, I'ma pray that you got PTO because they're not gonna care. You can't talk to anybody about that and they're gonna help you. So that's just my word of advice for anybody who was a caregiver, because I just saw that a lot and they don't advertise that, because you know Amazon's always promoting that you can work no matter who you are, what color, what age, what race, blah, 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 blah. But they don't really give a shit if you have a disability or if you, like I said, have younger children that are sick or you gotta go get them or anything like that. They don't care. So just be cautious with that, because yeah, like Amazon's not gonna give a damn if you gotta go get your baby girl. So yeah, just be cautious with that. Okay, so the next thing that I want to touch on, since I'm talking about PTO and UPT, is COVID. Now this may not be such a big deal next year, but right now it's still a staple at Amazon. So I got hired November of 2020. That was still during COVID season, and I'm not joking, y'all. Like, I would get a text message from ERC saying that somebody I've worked with has been diagnosed with COVID at least every other day. The COVID cases are high. They're still gonna be high, and especially now that they have it to where, like, if you've been vaccinated, that you don't have to wear a mask anymore. I was vaccinated at Amazon and still wore my mask because I just know how high the cases are, and that they don't disinfect like they say that they are going to. And then also the like I said, this may not be in effect after this year, but if you do get hired this year, please know that this is also another way that you can lose your job, girl, because they were really quick to try to write us up if we weren't 6 feet apart, if we decided to breathe for a second. Like, if I have my mask on like this the whole time and I'm tired and I pull it down like right here to kind of breathe, they would try to write us up for that. And I actually took a picture showing that was actually a policy in place, that they were going to use disciplinary action if you were not social distancing and if you showed your mask or whatever, anything like that. So like I said, that may not be the case later on, but just know that in advance. So if you are one of those people that don't want to wear a mask now, you can, but I don't know if they're still enforcing the 6 feet rule, but they were really doing it when I was there, and to the point that it was just getting like ridiculous to me, because it's like they would only enforce it at certain times. So it was like we could be working on the floor together the whole time, right? Like doing team lifts, everything else the whole time. But then the moment that we're walking to the break room, like they're 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet, 6 feet, and I'm just like, what the fuck? So y'all didn't give a damn about our health for the first 5 hours of the shift? Like, girl, what? So just be cautious about that. Like I said, that may not be the case later on, but it was definitely a big deal while I was there. So the next thing that I want to discuss, like I said, I'm going down the list. So the next thing that I want to discuss, and this is a major point here, is about management. Okay, so I'm gonna continue to make this point. Amazon is a tech-savvy company. They do not want to deal with their employees, hence why a lot of bullshit happens. So remember how I said at the beginning of the video, the way that they train you is like they give you 1 day and then they kind of throw you out there and be like, good luck with your life. They do that with everybody, and you will quickly learn that it's not just the associates that they do that to. They do it to PAs, they do it to managers as well. There are so many managers that are working at Amazon that don't know what the hell they're doing. A lot of times they either have never managed before, or they've never been in a mail carrier style environment, or even like supply chain management type of environment. And a lot of times they just graduated college and don't know what the fuck they're doing, because y'all, I looked into it, okay? The only thing you need to be a tier 3 honey is a bachelor's degree. That's it. All you need is a bachelor's degree and some management experience. But girl, you can like fluff up a resume and say that you worked at fucking Pier 1 for 5 years. Hell, they ain't even in business no more. So you could easily done that, but that's the only requirement that they have. So yeah, management really is just as lost and confused, because there was a lot of managers that I encountered that did not know anything about what they were doing or how to do it or how to go about it. And it's because Amazon doesn't really train their managers either. So it's like literally it starts from the top and it just trickles down, and it just causes all types of confusion and nonsense for absolutely no reason. And I don't understand why Amazon is just I don't know, it's almost like they're too smart for their own good. It's like they just want to be so tech savvy and futuristic, but it's like you're taking away the human element that is needed, especially for how big the company is. I mean, honestly, y'all, I got more training like to do the cafe at Sam's Club with Walmart than I did with Amazon, and that's just as big of a company. So it's just like you try to be tech savvy, but then it's like you're causing all types of unnecessary problems because of the management not knowing what to do. That trickled down to PAs being promoted and they don't know what to do. And then through all of that nonsense, it's like, now I don't know if this was a rule at Amazon or what, but what I experienced, and then I also heard through the grapevine from a few managers, was that what would happen and what's going to happen is that you're going to encounter managers and PAs that are going to come to you and talk to you all types of sideways crazy for no reason. It's like, y'all, I can count on my hand one time and not use all 5 of my fingers how many managers actually came up to me, managers and PAs, actually came up to me and say, hi, my name is so-and-so, I'm gonna be working with you. Like, that never happened. It literally got to a point that I got so used to people just coming in and me just being like, oh, is that a new PA? Oh, is that a new manager? And it was only just because of the color of their vest that I would know that that was somebody new. They never actually came up and introduced themselves. And that caused a problem right then, because it's just like it was like what would happen is that you would get these new people, because what y'all will notice really, really quickly is that Amazon, as quickly as they cattle hire and fire their associates, they do the same thing with PAs and managers. Like every 3 to 4 months, they change out managers. Like literally, y'all, I had 3 different managers and I was only there 6 months. 6 months, and I had 3 different managers from when I got hired to when I got fired. So it's like they switch managers and PAs and shit every quarter, and it's like they all have this mindset that they have to be mean to people in order to get them to do their work. And it's like literally, I don't know, like I said, I don't know if that's an official rule that Amazon made or what, but it was like every single person I encountered that was a PA or a red vest, which is what I call the managers, they were all very, very mean and bitter and angry, and it's like they don't know how to talk to people. And it's like, and literally I got told by one of the PAs and a manager that that's what they do. Like they literally tell them when they get promoted or when they get the job that you can't be friendly to the associates. Like you have to, you know, assert your authority, assert your dominance in order to get things done, which is insane because the job itself is not a complicated job. So I don't understand why, like we're all adults. So it's like, I don't know why they feel like you need to be mean and treat us like children in order to get your point across. Because trust me, I've seen a lot of people, managers and PAs, get their feelings hurt because they ran up on the wrong one thinking that they were going to assert their dominance and be evil to them. So just be on the lookout for that, because they do that. Like that is a common thing that the PAs and managers do. They will talk to you crazy and think nothing of it, because in their mind they have to do that in order to get product out, which is stupid. So if you're one of those people that you get offended by that easily, me personally, I could care less, because my mind was always like, I'm not gonna be at this job long anyway, because my ultimate goal is to be an audio engineer and to do music. So this is just to pay the bills. That's where my mindset was. So I could care less about what the fuck was going on at Amazon. But if you're one of those people that you actually give a shit about your job, yeah, no, you're gonna get rolled up. Something's gonna happen to you real quick. You're gonna excuse yourself, because yeah, just be aware that that's gonna happen. And also, if being micromanaged triggers you, girl, don't even show up first day. Just don't even do it, because Amazon micromanages the fuck out of you, and it is ridiculous. I mean, literally, it's like they do not trust you to do this basic ass job, and it's real basic. Like the whole like the actual job of working at Amazon, y'all, is super simple, but it's like they micromanage you as if it's some kind of brain science, and it's like I don't understand why they do it so much, and that drove me nuts. It literally got to a point that I was super paranoid working at Amazon, because every time I would be trying to do my job, I would look up and there was some manager sitting in the corner like some creep staring at me, and I'm just like, what? Like, what do you want? It was the weirdest thing, y'all, and like that drove me nuts, because I don't like to be micromanaged, and I don't like being watched. So the fact that both of those things combined it there, I had anxiety every single day. Like, I was on high alert every time I clocked in at Amazon, because it was just ridiculous how much they watched you and micromanaged you. And trust me, them scanners, the moment that you clock into that scanner, girl, they tracking you, okay? Just know that you're being tracked, because they was just doing so much. And then on top of that, like, you'll get the managers or the PAs that's got the little computer tablets, and they'll like come up to you and try to have a talk with you about TOT, and they'll be like, hey, so we're looking over here, we noticed that you didn't scan anything, or you didn't do whatever after 5 minutes or 10 minutes. What was going on? What was your obstacle? Like, what, girl? I had to go shit. Like, what? Like, it was just ridiculous, the amount of micromanaging that they do up at that Amazon. Like, it's not that deep, girl. I am at so much peace now that I'm not up there, because child, when I tell you, my anxiety, girl, like my panic attacks, it was just too much. So another thing that I want to stress about is the work environment just in general, because I talked about how managers don't really know what they're doing. The PAs don't really know. You might catch a few PAs that know what they're doing, but it's always chaotic. And they basically, like I say, it's just a trickle down effect, because the managers don't, higher up doesn't know what they're doing. Managers don't know, the tier 3 managers don't know what they're doing. And it just trickles down to just nonsense and confusion. A lot of times I was working and it was nonsense and confusion for no reason. And a lot of times it was because they make constant changes and they don't tell you about it. Like, they literally will change something. Like the Amazon that I worked at, we had to sort packages like by hand, in like, because of how big the packages was, we didn't have no like conveyor belts or anything like that. So the way that it was set up, right, we got used to that. That's how it was. I cannot tell you how many times we would come to work like the next week and it would be completely changed and different, and we're all confused and don't know what to do and don't know where to go, and we're asking management, and management is looking at us like, okay, suck it up and deal with it. And we're looking at them like, what? Okay, well, can you at least have a team meeting? Can you explain something? Can you do something? Like, and they would really, I mean, no joke, y'all, would change shit, change policies, change your work environment, and really be looking at you like, okay, good luck with your life. And it was insane to me. I've never ever seen a job do that before in my life. Like, it was crazy. At least most of the time when things change, like in a company, they kind of give you a heads up, like, hey, this is what's going on. This is gonna go into effect whatever day. Amazon not like that. So if you're not a person who can adapt to change, instantly without any explanation or any logical reasoning or anybody explaining to you how to do it anymore, I would not recommend working at Amazon, because they're gonna constantly do it. You're gonna constantly have a bunch of changes. You're going to constantly be without your supplies, because Lord knows I cannot tell you how many times I would come to work and we would not have any scanners. And anybody that works at Amazon knows it don't matter if you work for the small pack, the XL, don't matter. Your scanner is what you need to do your damn job. And I cannot tell you how many times we ain't had no damn scanners. I shit you not, one time for like 2.5 hours just walking around getting my exercise on because there was no scanners. Like, how am I supposed to do my job and we ain't got no scanners? And then they real quick to TOT you. And for those of y'all that don't know, I said that before, TOT is time off task. And time off task, I'm gonna put a picture somewhere over here, because I took a picture of what Amazon's claims as time off task. Basically, time off task is when they feel like you supposed to be working and you ain't working. So basically, if you stop to go pee and you stay in the bathroom more than 5 seconds, they gonna try to TOT you. If you have to boo-boo, okay, which happens sometimes, you know, you're moving around a lot and you ate something you ain't supposed to be doing. You go in there and take too long of a boo-boo, they gonna try to TOT you, okay? they will try to TOT you after, I think the limit is 10 minutes. They start TOTing you at 10 minutes, okay? So 10 minutes is a TOT, 15 minutes, and then Lord forbid you get the 30 to an hour, you just fired instantly, right? Because they feel like you basically need to work like a machine and not take no break, or not go get no water or nothing like that. So they gonna try to TOT you. Like, so just keep that in mind as well. They gonna expect you to keep a rate, and rate varies depending on what department that you in. Like picking, people that pick have a rate, people that sort have a rate, people that pack have a rate. Everybody got a rate, okay? And they're gonna expect you to keep that damn rate. Like I said, they're gonna expect you to work like a machine. I told you, Amazon does not think you as human. That's why they don't interact with you, girl. So they gonna expect you to keep a rate, and if not, they gonna TOT you. So like I said, if you one of them people that you got irritable bowel syndrome, if you got diabetes, if you got anything medical like that, that you gotta take some drugs, or you gotta go, you know, you have to go to the bathroom often, or whatever the case may be, don't apply for Amazon, because they will TOT you and you will be fired. Like I said, they don't care. They don't care. They do not care. Okay? But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I hope this video wasn't too terribly long, but I also hope it was informative as well, because I wanted to make a different video than what I was seeing on YouTube, because a lot of people was making their experiences and not really giving full details about what it's like working at Amazon and how to survive working there. Because I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna end this video. Please remember, I'm not trying to scare you, but just be very cautious about working at Amazon, because they don't care about their associates. I don't care what they say on their commercials, how cute it is, or whatever the case may be. I'm telling you from real life experience, please listen to all the people that you see on YouTube, okay? They are not lying to you. Like, there's over 100+ videos on YouTube right now about working at Amazon, and all of us say the same thing about management micromanaging you and the tablet people and all that kind of stuff. And like, that people aren't lying about that. Like, they are genuinely, it's not the best work environment. And if you are going to work there, please keep your head up. Keep in mind that whatever you're there for, have a goal in mind, because that's gonna keep you grounded and that's gonna keep you from going insane. Because like for me, I was only there just to pay bills, to supply the music career, and to do YouTube, right? Most people that I worked with were like college kids, and they were just trying to make a little money, or they were doing like, just have some kind of goal, and just know that you're on a ticking time bomb the moment that you get in that building, okay? Like, you're like, do not think that Amazon is the company that you are going to be at for a long time, because you're not, okay? You're not. I told you, I don't know people that have worked there over a year. And if they have, they're normally PAs or tier 3s, and they've had to do a lot of unholy things to stay there that long, okay? So it's not a job that you can stay in, that you can grow in. It's not, girl. So if you are wanting that and to still work with Amazon, then hopefully you have your degree, your bachelor's degree, and you go and work for Amazon corporate, okay? Amazon corporate is more of like, okay, this is a steady career for me. Amazon fulfillment, no. Like, it's a very time sensitive job. You're on a ticking time bomb the moment that you get hired. Please remember that. Please know that. Heed my warning. Just know that. And always stay on Indeed, girl. Please stay on Indeed. For the love of God, stay on Indeed. Because if you do that, it'll help you in the long run. Because I always kept my resume updated, and then when I got fired, girl, I was ready to go, okay? So with that being said, I hope y'all enjoyed this video. If you would like to know how I got fired from the Amazon, it'll be in the end of this video. If you want to click on that, I will also put a link in the comments and pin it, so you can see my story of how I got fired from the Amazon, because girl, it was a story. But yeah, that's all I have to say. So as always, make sure you guys comment, like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And I am going to see you guys later.